What do you think when you hear the words surface area? I asked a few learners what ideas they had about surface area.
Surface area is an area that needs to be covered. Like for instance, if you're going to paint your house, you would say, what is the area that needs to be covered to paint? And you'd buy that amount of paint for that certain area.
Surface area is everywhere. It's like the covering of my book, covering of a bag, stuff like that.
Surface area is a cover of a roof, which keeps the rain from coming down.
I think it's the number of small squares which fit into the space that the carpet takes.
An area of length and breadth and what we can fit things into.
I think it's a carpet and the space it takes.
Surface area is the size of a soccer field or top of a table.
Now, why do you think it is important for us to calculate the surface area of objects? I thought about all the work involved in building a block of flats. The tiler needs to calculate the surface areas of the floors before he can buy the materials he needs. The painter needs to calculate the surfaces of the walls, inside and outside, that he wants to paint before he can buy the correct amount of paint. So the surface area is the space taken up with the paint of the painter or the tiles of the tiler. And it's important to know these values before you can start a project so that you can get the right amount of materials. But how are we going to measure surface area? Haley said something important earlier.
I think it's the number of small squares which fit into the space that the carpet takes.
She is quite right, but she didn't say how big or small they needed to be. We need a way to measure area that is standard so that everyone knows what we're talking about. What if you were to ask a painter to buy 5 small squares of paint? He will not know what you're talking about. We measure area using square units. But what do we mean by a square unit? When we measure length, we use millimeters or centimeters or meters, which are the standard units of measurement. But when we measure area, we are not just measuring one length. For example, if you have to carpet this room, how would you go about measuring it to find out how much carpet you will need? And then, what measurements will you use at the shop to describe the amount or size of the carpet you need? Let's see if we can get a better understanding of what we will need. Have a look at this diagram. Here is a rectangle drawn on a square grid. Can you figure out what the area of the rectangle should be? Let's see if Zandi and Tubeka can help us. Zandi simply counted the squares. Tubeka counted the rows and the number of squares in each row. Then she multiplied. There are 4 rows of 6, so in total she counted 24 squares. They both came to the answer of 24, so we say that the area is 24 square units. When working with area, we make use of a standard unit called a square unit. The name square unit tells us that our unit of measurement is a square. The length of each side is 1 unit, and that unit can be anything we like. So this means we could write 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and this would give us an area of 1 centimeter squared. Now here we could have 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter, and this would give us an area of 1 millimeter squared. Here we could have 1 meter by 1 meter, and this multiplies and gives us an area of 1 meter squared. Here we could have 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, and this would give us 1 kilometer squared.